So in this video, we are going to answer the question, what is the difference between GDP and GNP, and whether or not the difference between GDP and GDP are large in the United States. So we know that GDP is gross domestic products, which is basically all the products and services. Here, I'm going to write it here. All goods and services produced within the country and within the time period. So what is key here is that we look at all the goods and services produced within the country. It doesn't matter who produced it as long as it happens within the country. However, GNP is all goods and services produced by residents of the country within a year, within the time period. It could be a year or a month. So the key difference is between GDP and GNP is who produced the product, right? So for GDP, as long as it happens within the United States, it is calculated into GDP. For GNP, the products or service must be produced by the residents of the country. So we include all the products produced by US citizens and US companies, no matter where that happens. So using an example here, we have an American company called Ford, a car manufacturer, right? Ford, they have car manufacture plants in the UK. When we're calculating GDP, because the cars produced are not within the United States, when we're looking at the GDP of the United States, because Ford's car were produced in the UK, we are not going to include it into the GDP of the United States, right? However, because Ford is an US company, Ford's production in UK will be included into the calculation of GNP. Another example, Toyota, which is a Japanese company, they have plants in the United States. So all the cars produced by Toyota's plants in the United States will be calculated into the GDP of the United States because it happens within the United States. However, because Toyota is not an US company, the products of Toyota's plants in the United States will not be included into the GNP. So hopefully you know the difference between GDP and GNP. And as for whether or not the difference between GDP and GNP are large in the United States, the answer is no. So for US, GDP and GNP are very similar. So basically, you can think of all the goods and services produced within the United States are mostly by the US citizens and US companies. That's why the difference between GDP and GNP in the United States is not very large.